At this time, I'll call the February 25th, 2021 meeting to order for the Dixon County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have two additions to the agenda. One is a bid for bridge materials. The second item that we'll add is the approval of the 5-year solid waste plan. And I would move that we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second. Any discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our consent agenda includes the minutes of the February 18th meeting, also fund expenditures of $507,751.77, the abatements of $1,222.90, special checks from Sparks, reimbursement, and that's $4,477.56.
I move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the consent agenda. Any other discussion or comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Roller, we'll start with you for commission comments.
No comments.
Commissioner Chamberlain.
Yes, this afternoon I'll be zooming into the North Central Regional Planning Commission. As I mentioned earlier, one of the major discussions will be to buy a building if we approve it in downtown Beloit. So that's all I have, Lynn.
Okay. Earlier this morning, we had Nathan Bruner call in and had questions regarding, he's with Fire for Hire and does burning in fields and such on contract. And so he had requested we review some of our regulations and look at those in regards to someone getting a permit. And anytime someone is going to hire someone, their responsibility is to make sure that they do call in for a permit and advise dispatch of what they're going to do, where and when, and also to make sure that it's within the regulations. We also had Sherry Massey in earlier, and she is our GIS coordinator, and she gave us an update on the move that's been taking place, but also some of the things having to do with our new facility. And so that's all I have. Are there any other comments from the commission or anything else you'd want to bring up under commission comments or committee reports? We do not have any proclamations. And so at this time, we would go to public comments. And if someone does want to make a public comment on something not on the agenda, this would be your opportunity to do so. And as before, there's a limit of 5 minutes. It should have to do with issues in that regard. And so if someone does want to make a comment, and I didn't bring my glasses in, so is there someone up there that wants to make a comment, Brad?
Not yet.
Okay. I was going to cover it on notices and communications, but I know Gina Dalton did send me 3 emails, and also Rhonda Dupre, and it had to do with both of them a little bit the same theme as far as that there's a downward trend as far as COVID, but also wanting us to consider ending the mask mandate. And so I did receive those comments. Is there anyone else from the public that would want to make any comments at this time before we move on in the agenda? So we will move on, and at this time we'll have a report from our county officers. So our county administrator, Brad Holman, if you would please go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen here with our people online, and I'm going to do a little update on the progress of the demo and the sheriff's department jail all at the same time here. Let's see. Hopefully, bear with me. I find the right. There we go. It was hiding behind there. So there's been a lot of progress going on with the demolition. If you had visited the courthouse, this is what you would see as of this week. We've got demolition going on, things flying out the windows upstairs. And I don't know where I can give you we're trying to get this screen where we can move. There we go. This is, we'll go into the new sheriff's department and the construction phase here first. And where we're looking at is this is the new main entrance into the courthouse looking, this will be the sheriff's department entrance. You'll come in this hallway. And then where I'm standing here taking the picture, go back west will be the main hallway down through the courthouse when it's all said and done. They're still using this to bring in a lot of the construction material and stuff. So things are progressing rather well, but this has been left intentionally this way so we don't damage anything. So, and we'll move into the administration portion of the sheriff's department. Well, here's a little different view of that same hallway. And here's what used to be the east doors of the courthouse. And so you can see that this is the east side of the courthouse, original courthouse, and the building's been attached to that. So walking into the sheriff's department, this is inside the little foyer area where one of the clerks would have access to the window to deal with the public. And right outside that particular area, this is a hallway and they're laying a carpet. I took the pictures Tuesday, so all the carpet has since been put down and they're working on the tile in the bathrooms yesterday when I did a walkthrough. So things are progressing very well that way. Just a little peek inside one of the offices there looking along the south side of the building. One of the bathrooms are getting the tile down on in those, getting it set. And then that would be the patrol office area. Looking inside there, it's all since been carpeted and done inside there. And then around on the east side, you know, when you walk around the kind of the circle, this is the break area for the sheriff's department. And the tile since then has been put down. So it's starting to take shape. And then this will be the investigations area, what they've designated for investigations. As you come in the east door of the sheriff's department, right inside the door, these are the evidence lockers where an officer would come in, check their evidence in, they put it inside that door, twist the lock, it locks, it can no longer get it back out. And then the evidence technician takes it out of the locker on the other side, processes it and submits it in for whatever work needs to be done on it. So. And we're looking as you enter into the jail off the sheriff's department. This is down one of the hallways into the jail. You guys have been in there, so you kind of know what it's looked like or what it looks like. And this is one of the dorm rooms. This happens to be the women's dorm that they're in the process of getting painting finished and things of that nature. Master control room continues to take shape. When it's all said and done, there'll be big video monitors across up high here, and they'll have computers down below, but essentially from master control, that controls the whole jail facility. Everything's done from right there. There'll be a person manning that staff, that location at all times. So, and this is just a view inside one of the pods. This is a 16-bed pod. You can see there's 8 cells, and each cell has 2 beds inside. And so this is one of the pods. that doesn't have things sitting in it, where I could get a picture. And then this is looking inside one of the 2 bed cells, which they're all identical inside there. And that's the door into that pod. You can kind of see the darker, looks like tinning. Well, that's reflective material from the other side. So the inmates on the inside of the pod, when they look at the window, all they see is mirror. They can't see what's in the hallway or in the control room. And so that's intentional. And this is the view behind the cells, the maintenance chase behind there. And as you remember, that's one of the things that this design provides is maintenance people can go in and do plumbing, electrical, whatever work that they need to back behind here and never have to enter into the secure facility of the jail. So you don't have to worry about getting people in there, getting hurt, or accidentally leaving a screwdriver or a tool or something behind, or having an inmate pick it up when you're not looking. So this is the kitchen area off the north side. This is the north area that's still open so they can get in here. It's kind of hard to orient if you haven't been in there, but there'll be walls in here for the kitchen and food storage. The refrigerators and stuff will be back here, but that's progressed very well the last week or so. And here's your central booking area. This is the west side of the building. That door goes out into the hallway where the stairway is over here. And then that door goes directly out to the Sally Port area. So this is, I'm sorry, I'm turned around. This door goes out to, yes, this door goes out to the Sally Port area. This goes into a holding room and then into the stairwell. The stairwell's back in here. Now we're looking at it from the other side. These are our temporary holding cells across that wall they're actually getting those put together. Everything's done there. And then you jump over into right on the between the sheriff's department and the area we were just at. This is right outside the sheriff's department windows. They're putting up the inmate storage room. And then on the flip side of this is the medical suite, which this is your medical exam room and medical areas in between here. So, and then this is a visitation room. So that's just kind of an overall look. You can see the way it's built onto the east side of the courthouse. So
The windows are there, Brad, will they be?
they're going to be left in place and closed in just the way they are. The reason we're doing that is the historical people requested we do it that way. And that makes us eligible for that 25% tax incentive. So, okay, we'll jump into the existing courthouse on the second floor. You can see they built a door across there because we still have to have traffic to and from the jail, which is behind where I'm taking the picture from. They have taken up all the material off the floor, as you can see. They've removed a bunch of the doors and the rooms. I'm looking from the old district court to the east here. The jail is down there behind that wall. And so if a lot of the demo has taken place behind me at this point, so you can see that's what district court, it used to be district court. There's one of their old vault door. Those walls are all coming out, as you can see, and things are progressing. This is just on the other side where the judges' chambers used to be here, and then the other judges back here. This is where community corrections was at, and Connie sat right in this area. So all those walls have been taken out, and then they're in the process now of taking the old ceiling out. This is over, as Doug would remember, the Judge Davis's and Judge Barker's courtroom, which is eventually converted to court services. So they've got a lot of that taken out, and they've started on the ceiling, removing the original ceiling there. This is Judge Collett's courtroom. Looks a little different than last time Doug was probably in there. So they're in the process. A lot of that now has gone out the window and they've hauled it off. So since Tuesday, there's been a lot of things moving. Judge Sexton's courtroom, they've got everything stripped out of it. And as you can see, they're starting to take the ceiling material out to the beams up there. So.
Now, going back to those windows there too, Brad, will they be another window put inside them so they'll be more energy efficient, or how will that be
The
handled?
windows on that side, I believe, get replaced with something smaller because the ceiling will come down. We won't have as high a ceiling in that courtroom. And so, yeah, they will These windows, my understanding, will all come out and be reduced in size.
Lower the ceiling in that room.
Yes, and the ceiling will all be lowered, so. Then we jump down to the basement. Obviously, the remediation people have taken up all the tile and they've got the glue to work on here. They are in this is the appraiser's office and that's emergency management. And they're back in those areas working right now and they'll start doing the same thing as far as the ceilings and everything, getting all that removed. They've got up their barrier here to keep the dust and stuff down. We still have dispatch in the basement that has to get through the meeting room to get to the bathrooms and the elevator. Then we'll jump up to the main floor. This is kind of what it looks like outside the sheriff's department. And remember, they're still in place as well. We moved the vending machines up to this area. And this is the door that goes out east into the new area that we looked at first. And I just took a couple pictures of how desolate things are in the courthouse on the main floor right now. Register of Deeds office and the treasurer's office. However, it looks a little different this morning because the guys upstairs cut a water line and water was running through the ceiling here and it flooded the floor. So we had a little bit of a sauna going on in that area this morning. And then Barb's area that looks empty. So I think that's actually it. Yep. So things are progressing just like we would anticipate they would be. So although I think the demolition is going a little slower than the construction manager had hoped, but it's moving. So that's kind of the jail and the sheriff's department. You know, we had plans. The plan the last month or so has been to do the punch list on the sheriff's admin portion on Monday. It's not going to be ready to do that on Monday. I'm guessing it'll be another week, maybe two, before we do that. But it has progressed very well. I think we want to, at least my goal or my thought would be, and we haven't had a meeting. We'll have a meeting Monday with the group, but we probably want to make sure the masons are done in that part so we can close that front entrance up and get the doors and stuff on before we move the sheriff's department into that side. And of course, when they move in, then myself and my staff and my hallway will move in and utilize some of the offices that they have temporarily while we're displaced. And that will allow us to move dispatch up into the garage. And at that point, the courthouse will be completely empty with the exception of the jail inmates. And so as soon as the jail's done, we'll move them out. So Squirrel Hall addition has gone very well. I think it's about 99% done. When I talked to the contractor yesterday, they are waiting on the fixtures, the toilets, the partitions for the stalls, and the sinks and stuff. All the painting is done, everything else is done. And once that stuff is done here, and it comes in here in the next week or so, they get it installed, we should be ready to open it up. They were working out there yesterday on the sidewalk. We are having them put the sidewalk and connect it on that west side, come around to the east side sidewalk along whatever street that is, northwest, whatever, in front of the armory. So we'll have it connected so people won't have to walk in the grass or the dirt or something. So, and once that's done, we'll get it opened up and the district court can start using it. So it'll be ready. So that's basically the news I've got this week. If you have any questions, well, it's been very busy.
A lot of work being done. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Our county counselor, Doug Thompson, do you have something for us?
Well, we're going to, several things. The first off is why I think the county employees have just done an excellent job. This has been very difficult to gather things up, move, relocate, and make all of that work. So kudos to them. The second thing is that we're going to see what the governor's situation is as we get to the end of March, because then we'll gear back up again and start in on preparation for the tax sale if we're able to do so. And so we have that ready, 85, 90% ready. Now we'll have to gear that up and go again. Other than that, I've reviewed documents that Brad sent to me on a number of things, the NCIC and other matters, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to notices and communications. We have a notice from KDHE, and anytime someone is renewing a permit or getting issued a permit, we're notified. In the county and Lynn Rock of 1669 1300 Avenue, Hope, Kansas, is being reissued a permit in an existing facility for maximum capacity of 2,300 head of swine, 25 head of cattle, and also 2,325 head or animal units of swine and cattle. So we also had a notice from OCCK Transportation, wanted us to be aware of some of the services they provide, and this is something they do through North Central Kansas, and it is a regional public transportation item, but they also are connecting where they have a route from Abilene to Salina, and wanted us to be aware of those and have that information. Now, does that also go to like the senior center, Brad, or do you know if?
I'm sure it does. I'm sure they get it because they utilize those services. So
Okay, and they also had some passes, courtesy passes that they had given us. Okay, I think that's all we have on notices and communications. I did mention earlier that I had received emails from Gina Dalton and also Rhonda Beaupre. And we covered that. And I think, did anyone else have any communications or letters or emails or texts that you?
We had nothing on the computer.
Okay, thank you. We do not have any resolutions to consider, but we do have two additions to the agenda that we'll consider at this time. The first one is a bid for bridge materials. Would you give us information on that, please?
yeah, the Road and Bridge Department has two sites that, actually three sites that they need to do work coming up here. The first two sites are at 1936 Gulf Road, where they need to replace one tube. And then at 2427 Fair Road, where they need to replace three tubes. The bids for that were received, and Middle Culverts was the low bidder, $37,627. The third location is at 1468 Barn Road, where they will be replacing a small structure there. And we got bids for both the sheeting and the I-beams of steel. Wellborn Sales was the low bidder and the only bidder on the sheeting for $12,122. And Odin Enterprises was the low bidder for the steel material at $9,013. So it's our recommendation that we award the three low bidders that I mentioned for a total of $58,763.08, so that Martin can get that material ordered and get it in and get those projects lined up to do.
I mean, we accept the low bids, administrators.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have the report from the county administrator, and we have the motion to accept the low bids that he had presented. And the total of $58,763.08. Any other discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item we have is the approval of our 5-year solid waste plan. And Brad, would you go ahead and present that? Or I know Derek's here too.
Yep, I will.
Questions?
I will defer to Derek. They prepared that for submission and your approval. So Derek, I'll let you.
All right, so this is the 5-year plan. Last week we had talked about the noxious weed. So this is the solid waste. We have one that's annual and one that's every 5 years. So this is the 5-year one. We've edited it to increase or to for the demographics, and we've also edited it for clarity also. So I have a signature that I need for that. But the changes are documented in the margins on this one, and we'll have another final one probably next week to be able to turn in.
This is kind of a housekeeping item. It's part of a requirement that we have that.
Where's this at now?
It's my understanding that most of the changes are just updates to current information, and there's substantive, no substantial changes to
None.
the intent of the plan,
So
so.
does the state send these out to all of the counties then? And so is there some uniformity or some unique to
We
Dickinson
have to turn
County?
it into Jeff Walker over at the Bureau of Waste Management, and they store that. So I'm not sure that it goes around to all of the counties, but
Every county has to submit one.
every county has to submit.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the 5-year solid waste plan?
Second.
I'll make that.
So Commissioner Roller made the motion for approval of the solid waste plan, the 5-year plan. And we have the second from Mr. Chamberlain. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And this will require your signature, Craig. Okay, we do not have any unfinished business. The only other business we have is to go into executive session. This will be for 20 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel. And it will include the three commissioners, and Brad Hammond, and also John Holtgren. Brad, is this something that should include our attorney, or is that
Yeah, it probably would be appropriate to have Doug in as well.
okay? And so it also would include Doug Thompson, our counselor. And that will be for 20 minutes. I would go ahead, we need to leave a little time to clear the room. I would move that we enter executive session at 11:28 for 20 minutes and with the people there that I mentioned before.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're now adjourned from the regular meeting. We'll go into executive session at 11:28.
Do you anticipate action? Okay. Stick around.
Executive session. At this time, I'd make the motion that we leave executive session.
Oh,
Second it.
we need to get Barb back.
Oh.
No.
They're liking her duty.
Yeah, no kidding. We need her. We adjourned already, so we just,
We did need our clerk here. And
And a report, and the press.
so I was ready to make a motion that we leave our executive session. And we had Commissioner Roller had seconded that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'd now move that we go to regular session.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're not opposed. We're now back in regular session. We had a discussion regarding non-elected personnel. There's just a few little details I think that we need to wrap up yet. And so I think it would be best that we return to executive session. Just to clarify a couple of things, because we just had a couple of statements kind of come up in the last few minutes of it that I think we need to vet in the executive session. So Brad, do you think 10 minutes would be enough?
I think so.
Okay, I would make a motion that we go to executive session again at 9:51 for 10,
11:51.
excuse me, 11:51 for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, and it would include the commissioners, our attorney, John Holtgren and Brad Hammond.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. we're now going back into executive session, so. And Barb, you could just.
I scared myself.
Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So move.
Second it.
We have the motion and the second to come out of executive session. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're now out of executive session. Is there a motion to return to regular or in a regular session now?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have the motion and the second to go into the regular meeting. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Into the regular meeting. Do either of the commissioners feel a need to go back into executive session or staff? I think we've vetted things pretty well, but,
No, I have no need to.
I have.
You don't need to.
okay, I think we covered the main points. Are there any motions to be made or comments?
I'd like to appoint John Holgren, health officer, and Dr. Holmes to do the other part of the operation based on financial, the situation in our budget.
Okay. Is there a second? I would give this second. Is there any discussion to that motion that John Holgren be appointed the county health officer, and that be effective immediately, or? I would mention, as far as some of the discussion that we have, is that there are budget issues that we're looking at. Previously, we had the Sparks money that was available because there was lots of work and research and recommendations, a lot of heavy lifting and such that took place. And now we have more of a downward trend. And so the budget part is important because we do have limitations on what we can do in that regard. Are there any other comments or questions? We have a motion and a second on the floor that we can vote on, but is there any other discussion? All in favor then say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
So we have a 2-to-1 vote. It does pass that our county health officer from this point on is John Holgren. I do want to mention that there's some variables and factors that have been involved with this. You know, certainly we have the budget issue. There's the efficiency involved with that. We also have a transition. This is a transition that's taking place because the numbers have changed. There's been a downward trend as far as the COVID portion of it. Having said that, Dr. Holmes has brought a lot to the table. He's done a lot of the heavy lifting. He's done a lot of the research and tackled some of the issues that anytime you have change, there's challenges, and sometimes decisions will not please everyone. But I think he has always held true to his medical knowledge, the importance, and took us through a time when there were rough waters, not only in Dickinson County, but across the whole state and across the whole nation. And so I appreciate what he has brought to the table. I think it's important in the transition time that we continue to work together. There's things we still need to work on, and we're in the process of developing a modified quarantine that can be brought forward. And I think that's going to be helpful for the students. And that's something that Dr. Holmes had worked on. and we'll continue to look at and tweak and see about implementing that. And then the health orders that we have do have a certain point that they're going to come to an end. And, I have several doctors that are friends, and they have mentioned that they see more of a trend and hopefulness that there will be a return to normalcy. And while we aren't ready to change things as far as the masks are concerned and the health order at this time, this is a transition, and I think a positive to offer less restrictions for the county in the future is a trend I think we'll see. Are there any other comments or questions?
I move we adjourn.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.